Hi everybody and welcome back to Outsiders. This is going to be an RPG video tonight. This is specifically for a guy called Pete. Peter, thank you very much for your questions. I do apologise that it's taken me a long time to get back to you. Pete asked me a very, very in-depth question, and probably what I'm going to do is I'm probably going to answer that question as in-depth as I can here, and then maybe put the question for people to have a look at. But it's a very deep question. Pete asked quite a lot of information. He gives me quite a lot about his campaign idea. He's basing his campaign in, I never get the name right, Lenador, but effectively if I use the words, the L series modules, you'll understand where I'm coming from. So this is things like the Assassin's Knot, Secret of Bone Island, that sort of thing. Absolutely fantastic series of modules, actually some of my favourite classic old modules. I really like them. So as a location to base your idea and your theme on, Pete, I think it's absolutely fantastic. I like the idea of using the group as like a splinter cell, as you described it, a Fem Nikita idea, which is really, really good. And certainly has a lot of merit because it means that you're in control of the storylines. You can pretty much feed them through some of the NPCs, what you want them to do next. And that's very good. It's like, I suppose you would call it almost like, exactly, Paige, thank you. Paige is my new sidekick. You won't see her, but you will hear her from time to time. But you will... it's a bit like a Star Trek episode in a way. You know, they each time you see them, it's a different mission. That I really like that very much, and it makes a lot of sense that they're connected to this sort of cell or splinter group, and particularly basing it there in those islands. All that really is good. I don't really see too many issues. You ask, as one of your questions, you ask about things like psionics and that sort of thing, and had I got any thoughts to add to what you're already doing. Let's start with adding things. I think first off I would say that I like the storyboarding approach, so I like the idea of you being in control of the stories. Try to have those stories as open-ended as possible, so there's many different ways the players can approach them. So although you're giving them an assignment, how they go about doing it, that's totally in their hands, and leave it as open and write stories as open as you can be around that, which you're probably already doing, but do that. Experience points wise, it's really down to you. It depends a little bit about what you're using. Again, reading in between the lines of the email, you've got the option of using if you're thinking about using Pathfinder. I'm going to talk about Pathfinder in another video about the differences between 3.5 D&D and Pathfinder in more depth now that I've played Pathfinder and ran a campaign for a year. I've just brought my campaign to a close. So I've got an awful lot I can talk about as far as experience about running the game, and the pitfalls and the pluses really are both systems now in more depth, even more depth than before. So I will be talking about that, and I think you'll find that a useful video. But coming back onto your question, I would say that if you're using Pathfinder, make the character, do not use the point buy, roll the characters, and be quite tough around that, because in Pathfinder, without a shadow of a doubt, there is a certain amount of power creep because of the options the players have got available. So I've said this before in previous videos, I'm going to reiterate it here. Make sure that you let the characters roll up the characters. Have a level where if somebody doesn't get about that level, it's an unplayable character. I would say as long as they got +4 total on the character, wherever that falls, even it could just be one good roll, as long as they got +4 total, that's a playable character, because when you add then in race bonuses and various other things, it's plenty good. So if they don't have +4 as a bonus, let them re-roll. But use any method you like. 4d6, take the lowest, 5d6, take away the 2 lowest. Whatever the method is that you prefer, roll it. I'm personally, next time round, I'm going to be using 4d6 7 times, take away the worst stat, keep the other 6. And as long as they've got +4 stats, play it. I'm not even going to debate that. That's how I'm going to do mine going forward. As far as experience points goes, I would suggest that you... it's up to you. On my method, I've got a fantastic idea that I've been using in Pathfinder for a year, and it's really worked very well. It isn't any of the methods prescribed in the book. It's been based off the fact that, in principle, the experience point system that I've been working out is very simple. You progress quite quickly early on, then it begins to slow down later. So somebody said, who was an external person, a wonderful idea they said to me about Pathfinder, and I think I would definitely try this next time, it could be good for you. He was doing the first half of his game, the first 10 levels, as fast progression, the next 5 levels as medium progression, and the final 5 levels as slow. I like the idea. I personally think what I would do is have the first 5 levels as quick, the next 10 as medium, and the final 5 as slow. That's probably what I would do, but I like his suggestion, probably even better than mine. Mine was very complicated, to be honest, to achieve probably the same thing, so I'd suggest on using that. As for Sonics, I've never been a big fan of them, I'll be honest with you. I can see what you're saying in your game. You want to use it primarily for an external group, someone who's already been outlawed on the island of Leonador and all that stuff, and that all makes sense, possibly with the option of maybe somebody in the group having latent talents or stuff like that. I think what you're saying is absolutely right. That's fine. I don't see any issues with that. Personally, the reason I don't like Sonics is it's never been portrayed any different, really, than the spells that players have got capabilities of getting. And it becomes a bit of an ugly system when you've got a spellcaster who's also capable of Sonics. It gets a bit, it's very cheesy. So I think you either have a game that's magic, very magic-like with a touch of Sonics, or no magic at all and just Sonics, or you just do away with it entirely. I personally just think it's a layer of complexity I don't really need in my games, to be honest with you, and it doesn't do anything that the magic system already currently does. So Pete, it's been a very quick answer to your questions. I just wanted to say thank you very much for your patience. Apologies about the delay in getting this video out there. Guys, I am back and producing videos now. I'm going to run videos when I can. I'm already involved in a number of projects. One of them is a very open project you just see, which is Liber Fanatica. I'm now the lead developer for that, and I'm encouraging some of you guys to get involved. This is a wonderful opportunity because the prize for this is absolutely awesome, because after this project, some of you, the most talented amongst you, will have the opportunity on working on something else that will certainly be paid for. You will all be being paid for your efforts. So if you're part of that select crew that get onto that, what a wonderful introduction into this fantastic hobby. So anyway, I've been Sean Connors. This has been Outsiders. The strange noises you've heard, they've been Paige, as I refer to a boggle. Anyway, take care of yourselves until the next time. Happy gaming.